And answer part 3. What are runtime exceptions? Runtime exceptions are those exceptions that are thrown at runtime because of either wrong input data or because of wrong business logic, etc. These are not checked by the compiler at compile time. What is the difference between an interface and an abstract class? An abstract class may contain code in method bodies which is not allowed in an interface. With abstract classes, you have to inherit your class from it, and Java does not allow multiple inheritance. On the other hand, you can implement multiple interfaces in your class. What is a package? A package is a namespace that organizes a set of related classes and interfaces. The classes contained in the packages of other programs can be easily reused. Packages classes can be unique compared with classes in other packages. That is, two classes in two different packages can have the same name. Why do threads block an input output? Threads block on input output that it enters the waiting state so that other threads may execute while the input output operation is performed. What is the list interface? The list interface provides support for ordered collections of objects. What is the vector class? The vector class provides the capability to implement a growable array of objects. What is the base class of all classes? Java.long.object. What is the importance of static variable? Static variables are class level variables where all objects of the class refer to the same variable. If one object changes the value, then the change gets reflected in all the objects. What is the difference between a while statement and a do while statement? A while statement checks at the beginning of a loop to see whether the next loop iteration should occur. A do while statement checks at the end of a loop to see whether the next iteration of a loop should occur. The do while statement will always execute the body of a loop at least once. Describe life cycle of thread. A thread is similar to a program that has a single flow of control. A thread is an execution in a program. The life cycle of the threads are newborn state, runnable state, running state, blocked state, dead state. What is an applet? Applets are small Java programs that are primarily used in internet computing. They can be transported over the internet from one computer to another and run using the applet viewer or any web browser that supports Java. What are wrapped classes? Wrapped classes are classes that allow primitive types to be accessed as objects. What is the difference between an if statement and a switch statement? The if statement is used to select among two alternatives. It uses a Boolean expression to decide which alternative should be executed. The switch statement is used to select among multiple alternatives. It uses an int expression to determine which alternative should be executed. What modifiers are allowed for methods in an interface? Only public and abstract modifiers are allowed for methods in interfaces. What is the difference between method overriding and overloading? Overriding is a method with the same name and arguments as in a parent, whereas overloading is the same method name but different arguments. What do you mean by polymorphism? Polymorphism means the ability to take more than one form. For example, an operation may exhibit behavior in different instances. The behavior depends upon the types of data used in the operation. Example, salary of 10. What is the difference between an abstract class and an interface? Abstract class have executable methods and abstract methods can only subclass one abstract class. Interface have no implementation code. All methods are abstract. A class can implement any number of interfaces. What is the purpose of finalization? The purpose of finalization is to give an unreachable object the opportunity to perform any cleanup processing before the object is garbage collected. What is the difference between a break statement and a continue statement? Break statement results in the termination of the statement to which it applies, switch, for, do or while. A continue statement is used to end the current loop iteration and return control to the loop statement. When is a method said to be overloaded and when is a method said to be overridden? Overloading deals with multiple methods in the same class with the same name but different method signatures. Overriding deals with two methods, one in the parent class and the other one in the child class, and has the same name and signatures. How is final different from finally and finalize? Final, constant declaration. The finally block always executes when the try block exists, except system.exit of zero call. Finalize is a method of object class which will be executed by the JVM just before garbage collecting object to give a final chance for resource releasing activity. What is bytecode? All Java programs are compiled into class files that contain bytecodes. These bytecodes can be run in any platform and hence Java is said to be platform independent. What is the difference between error and an exception? Exception means when a method encounters an abnormal condition, an exception condition that it cannot handle itself. It may throw an exception. Error means system does not handle. For example, overflow out of memory. What if the main method is declared as private? When a method is declared as private, the program compiles properly but it will give runtime error, main method not public. What type of parameter passing does Java support? User-defined exceptions may be implemented by defining a new exception class by extending the exception class. What is singleton? It is one of the design pattern. This falls in the creational pattern of the design pattern. There will be only one instance for that entire JVM. You can achieve this by having the private constructor in the class. What is local? A local object represents a specific geographical, political or cultural region. What is the difference between constructor and normal methods? Constructors must have the same name as the class and cannot return a value. They are only called once, while regular methods could be called many times, and it can return a value or can be void. What is the difference between static and non-static variables? A static variable is associated with the class as a whole rather than it with specific instances of a class. Non-static variables take on unique values with each object instances. What is the difference between Java and C++? Java is a true object-oriented language, while C++ is a basically C with object-oriented extension. C++ supports multiple inheritance, but Java provides interfaces in case of multiple inheritance. Java does not support operator overloading. Java does not have template classes as in C++. Java does not use pointers.